Hey everybody, Michelle with Michelle's For a Living here. Thanks for watching my videos, and got another sewing video today. Have these denim shorts that the client wants these cuffs sewn down so that they don't flop down like this. So yeah. These are like fast fashion, they skimp and cut out all of the sewing, where they can so that they can sell them cheaper, right? So like on this pair, they are tacked here at the seam line right there and right there. But over time, and even maybe wearing them once, these things will flop down. There's various options in how to fix this. I'm going to show you two different options just because of the style of the pants that I have here. This one I'll have to hand sew. Actually, all but one of them is going to be hand sewing. So here's a pair that I already did, and it was just tacked here at the corner. And yeah, so I did hand sewing and sewed that down so it won't fall down. And this one was so badly made. This seam, or this hem, or what am I saying? This cuff was already, pressed down, but it was pressed down. It was just all a jumble and a mess. So, yeah, it doesn't quite have a straight line right there. But anyway, so I'll show you how I'm going to do that. And, some of them, it's tacked. This one's got a tack here in the middle and then at the seams. And then I think this pair wasn't even cuffed, but she wants that one turned up and have a cuff put in it, I guess. So a variety of things. So those I'll have to hand sew. But this particular pair, which is like a little coveralls, it has this fringed out section, and then this was turned up, and it's just tacked here at the corners. But they did do a little bitty line of stitching along the edge, and then it was frayed out so that the fray wouldn't keep going. Okay, so this one I'm going to take advantage of that that it was like that, and I'm going to run a row of stitching, top stitching on that one, because it already has a line of top stitching, and the fringe is gonna kind of hide the top stitching. So this one's a little bit different style that is allowing me to do that. But otherwise, like machine stitching these down, I mean, you could do a whole row across there if you're okay with that style, if that's what you want. Okay, so let me show you how I'm gonna do this one, and then we'll do some hand stitching. All right, so you got to look at the color of your denim. I usually find that gray threads work better on denims, especially these kind that are not a really solid pattern. If you've got a really dark pair of jeans that is really solid dark, then go for a dark blue, navy, whatever. Sometimes black will work if they're dark enough, but on something like this, blue, in my opinion, always stands out. So I'm using gray, and as for the stitch length, I've got 2.5. It's just regular stitch length, nothing special going on. This isn't really heavy denim. I could put it on heavyweight and get a longer stitch length, use a bigger needle if I wanted to. Okay, I'm trying to get that fringe so that it's out and laying down, and I can even tell. I mean, this hem has been pressed, and it's not even, but that's the nature of this. So I'm starting on the inside seam, and I'm just going to run this right along here. I'm going to do a couple of back stitches right there, but I'm just going to take this right along, and I'm not going to try and fix where the that the seam is, the cuff is at different heights and stuff. It is where it is. So I'm just trying not to catch that fringe, and yeah. Just go around, and I had a couple of places I put pins in here to remind me to be careful, slow down, because the way it was pressed, it was like the fringe was trying to go underneath of the inside of the cuff. It just wasn't laying right, so I pinned it to help it. Okay, so let me get around these and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, so I've got these both stitched down, and you know, that is quite effective. It's quick and really easy if you have a sewing machine, and really you can't tell that those stitches are there really. And once these get washed, because these are all brand new, they got the tags on them, once they get washed and this fringe goes around, it'll really hide it even more. So too bad all of them aren't like that. Okay, so another method, and I'm not doing this, but this is a no-sew method. It's a product called Stitch Witchery. You could buy it at fabric stores that sell sewing notions like thread and everything. You should be able to find it there. It's called Stitch Witchery, and it comes in a roll. It's like about like that big round, and it's about a half an inch wide. It's a web that has adhesive on both sides that's activated when you iron it. And so you could have, you know, laid it down in here and then iron this, and then it would adhesive together. It's just like having iron-on patches that you might put on a knee or something. So it's just sticky on both sides like that when it gets ironed. I've never really used it, and like it's a lot of people use it for hems, you know, on skirts and pants and stuff like that. It really doesn't add any bulk or anything, so that's another option if you're not sewing, and you have an iron and you can find the product. You can do that. So it comes in a little package. All right, so I want to show you how to hand stitch down this. So this leg I've already done right here, and yeah, it's already stuck down, but you can see I, you know, left a little bit of a lip right there, and stitches. So let me show you. I've got some thread, and like I said, I like to use some gray thread on these kind of colors, and in fact, this stitching theoretically shouldn't show unless you can see there's no stitches showing. Nothing on the top. It is here on the back, and there's my stitches right along in there, but they're hiding in there. All right, so I want to have it so that the cuff is towards me because it's easier for me to work at it that way. So I'm going to start. I've got a thread, and I've got two thicknesses of thread. I've got a double knot tied down here at the end, and hopefully I've got enough that will go all the way around this, so I don't, you know, I can just do it at one fell swoop. I measured it, so I'm going to just bury my knot here inside of this cuff, of course, and already making a mess out of my thread. Okay, there we go. Let me get the thread out even. All right, so yep, the end of the thread is down in there. I did come through the cuff, and I'm going to try and stay about 1/8 of an inch down from this fold line, and then my stitches that are going through the pants leg back here need to stay down below where, you know, below the top of this, so that we aren't going to be able to see them. And yeah, so I'm in the front in the cuff here. And so I'm just going to take a little stitch down there, and my stitches are maybe 1/8 of an inch long, but I am certainly not caring if they're even or not. And I just came up through this, in fact, I don't like that because it came through the front just a tad. I only want to go through one layer of the cuff so that the stitches are not visible on the outside. Okay, so if you're not you know, good with sewing too much yet, you know how you get better, you sew. It's the way it is with anything in life. You gotta do it. Okay, so now my stitches up here in the cuff again, so I'm gonna go trying to keep those ends of that thread down there. I'm going into the back, taking a little stitch. I mean, you can do them one at a time like this if that's what you need to do. Pull it up taut, but not so that you're crinkling your fabric up. I get in a little rhythm, and I've got a long enough needle that I'm going to take several stitches at the same time, and that just comes with sewing years of experience. Okay, I've gotten a little high up, so I'm gonna make sure I go back down again. And these jeans, all this denim is stretch denim, so you can see I could pull it out. So I'm trying not to keep these stitches really tight, because these may be made to be tight around the leg and have some stretch, and therefore this thread needs to have a little bit of a give. So all right, basically it's just going through the cuff, take a stitch in the cuff, take a stitch into the leg, take a stitch into the cuff, and yeah. So I'll show you when I get down to the other side seam. Okay, so I've got the whole front sewn along there, and hidden stitches. All right, so I want to tie a knot here. I'm at the side just to give it, a little bit more security, in that if the thread does break for some reason on one side or the other, this is going to be a stopping point, that the thread wouldn't, come all the way out. All along. I mean, you could put, do a knot in a couple of places along the front if you were really concerned about that. Okay, so my knot is there, but what I want to do, since this, I could keep stitching along there, but it is tacked right there, so I'm going to save myself some stitches and try and push my needle over to the other side there. Oh, catching that, I caught the back of the leg there. Yeah, it's really thick right there. Okay, and just pull it through, and then I'll just continue stitching the back side and tie it off the same way, and then when I get down to the end, I'll just do that and pull the thread through right there and snip it off, after I tie a knot into it, so it buries the ends. So all right, that's all. Thanks for watching.